coherently piece a sentence together about marijuana other than I wanted it to be legal. To now I feel confident, so confident that I don't write my speeches anymore. I just come up here and I speak from the heart. And that can be you too. You don't have to be afraid of speaking. You don't have to be afraid of standing in front of a camera or a crowd or an authority figure and talk about this. I talk about this directly with police officers all the time. And guess what? If you're willing to have a respectful conversation with them, most of them, I'm not gonna say all, but most of them are willing to, hear you out at least, especially if you're not overtly breaking the law in front of them. And so I know that it's really easy for our crowd to, as soon as we see a law enforcement officer, we do one of these. And okay, all right, that's the way that marijuana activism has always been done, okay? It's been underground, it's been hushed, and we're past that. Right, Texas? We're past that! So imagine how these police officers are going to feel when more people are actually coming up and wanting to have an honest-to-goodness conversation with them about this. Instead of just, getting the sense that they should probably be, taking a second look at you because you're, like they don't see that every day, everywhere they go. So imagine if you were willing to go and have that conversation with that police officer or your teacher in college. Maybe not high school, maybe, don't bring it up there. I don't know, right? Maybe use your best judgment. But definitely college-age kids should be out there talking to their professors, right? How many college-age individuals are here right now? No, don't raise your hand, I'm sorry. You can tell they're students. Make noise. How many college students are here? That's awesome that you all raised your hands. I believe that you're college students. Because if somebody tells me to raise my hand, they better have something pointed at me. You know what I'm saying? Usually I'm not going to be real quick to, I did it. Anyway, the person next that I would like you to get to know, the reason I'm harping especially about teachers, professors, is a professor, in fact. He is a statistics professor, in fact, at TCC. He's a man who, when he first met me, thought I was a cop. Which is awesome now, but he was terrified at the thought of it the first moment he met me. And he looked at me and, Sean, I just want you to know, pull up my Facebook page right now and look at my family. And understand that if you're a police officer, you're going to rip my family apart. I was like, whoa, man, it's cool. Pass me that. Because you have had too much if you think that I am a cop. Look at me. Who would I arrest, right? But this next person, Aaron Gutknecht, he's been a friend of mine since 2011. He's inspired me many times. He's marched right alongside with me. He's yelled his voice out with me when we had 100 people protesting, and he's yelled his voice out at me when we had 1,000 people protesting. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for my friend Aaron Gutknecht.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you, DFW NORML, and hello, North Texas. It is a beautiful day to make a difference in the life of somebody. We know that science is showing that marijuana helps our bodies. We see in our children and our families that marijuana is helping our bodies. And now this is becoming an academic issue. We in higher academia have an obligation to seek, pursue, and facilitate that truth. So I am here today to call on my colleagues in higher academia to stand up and use their academic freedom to help save lives. Use your academic freedom where academia is the last wall of truth and hope between the American people and the American government. Use that that academic freedom and stand up for children where they can't fight that fight. It is time academia steps in. Information on marijuana has been abused and misused by our politicians and our government, and the information given has caused too many rifts between too many American communities, and it is high time we educate the cannabis ignorant in Texas. So I tell you students here today to call on your professors throughout North Texas, call on your professors throughout the state of Texas, and tell them they have an academic freedom to speak. where many people do not have a freedom to speak because their employers don't like what they see on Facebook. We in academia have the freedom of speech, and it is a shame and a crime if we do not use it when cannabis scientifically is being shown to heal the body. Real quick personal story. My dad was diagnosed with mesothelioma a couple years ago due to asbestos exposure working for Alcoa. He turned down radiation, turned down chemo. Doctors gave him a year to live. That was over 2 years ago. The tumor had not changed. They had to call an oncologist in on the last CT scan after 2 years of telling him nothing has changed, just to make sure he had cancer. He still did. They were befuddled. The tumor had not changed. He's using the cannabis oil. They are glad they're glad he took the route he did, but they cannot talk to him about it in the state of Pennsylvania. That's those doctors. It's time we pull the educators out of the woodwork because people need this.